Welcome to Veterans in Transition, where we promote the veteran community. Each week we travel around the region highlighting veteran-related news, issues, and events. In this episode, we're on location at the 2019 Military Influencer Conference. We'll talk with a veteran franchise business owner. Correspondent Cherissa Jackson shares her conversation with one of the participants on issues facing women veterans, and I'll speak with a cohort of the new VA initiative for women veteran business owners. But first, correspondent Sean Lanier spoke with the owner of J-Dog, a nationally recognized brand. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling empowers veterans by offering an eco-friendly residential and commercial junk removal business opportunity.
You're prior enlisted, you were a cable guy, that's where the name
Wire Dog, yeah.
Got it. So what did you learn during your time as a veteran that helped you become a successful franchisee and the creator of this great foundation?
What I took from being in the military was really getting up, working hard, not missing being accountable. Before I went in the military, I was a mess. I had really no self-awareness of getting up early or going to work. I didn't really care. So after high school, when I went in the military, it really straightened me out. And I think what I got out of the military the most was how to respect each other and how to follow a system.
So how did you transition into J-Dog and be successful?
Well, it took about 20 years before I really revisited the military. I went in retail, worked several jobs, lasted about 5 months in college. So when I got into the retail space, I outworked everybody basically. Over 7 years, I became this manager, that manager, and I raised my hand all the time. So the work ethic I learned from the military translated me into probably being the best employee in the company. And then I realized I was making some money. I wanted to be an entrepreneur too, and got tired of it. So started a business in 1999, failed miserably, ran out of money. My wife and I started another business. We tried again in 2006. Lasted 2 years. It was kids entertainment, moon bounces, swing sets, and then the recession crashed. Unfortunately, my wife and I had to file bankruptcy in 2010 because of the failed business. I went researching online, found recession-proof businesses, and junk removal was one of them. So I said, you know what? I can haul junk, pretty big guy. I can knock on doors and say, hey, let me haul your junk, trust me. And that's how it started. We went door to door, I had index cards, and I worked in my own neighborhood first. And I realized that people have junk. And I said, I could do this. So after about a year doing it, people started realizing I was a military veteran, and they were excited. So everyone wanted to use J-Dog, the military guy. We started hiring veterans at the VA hospital, and my wife said to me, we got to turn this into a franchise system. We got to give other veterans an opportunity to be in charge of their own business. And that's how it launched.
So now you're the most successful franchisee, 220 plus locations, but you still have some tremendous growth opportunities for veterans. Can you expound a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we just launched our second service, which is J-Dog Carpet Cleaning. We launched that in April, and we've already sold almost 30 locations. So our plan is to be the Angie's List of military veteran franchises. And I think we'll have 5,000 franchises someday, 50,000 veterans working under one system. Because when the consumer sees our dog, our logo, J-Dog, they know they're going to get respect, integrity, and trust. They're going to know who the brand is, and they're going to want military veterans to come in their home. They're basically, in essence, hiring veterans by using our services. So if the American people want to help, instead of writing checks for donations, they can simply pick up the phone and call one of our services. We come out and do work. They just hired a military veteran.
So what do you say to transitioning soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines? What do you say to them about that entrepreneurial spirit that they're not sure what they want to do? How do they find J-Dog services, what you guys do to start up with their own franchise?
Yeah, if they want to own a J-Dog franchise, they would go do their research, come onto our website, get the phone interview. They fly in or drive into our company, and we have dinner and we get to know each other. We want to make sure that we interview people as well as they interview us, because it's really going to be a true partnership. My recommendation is you got to get the information. You got to test and see what it looks like. And if it's not J-Dog, make sure it's a veteran-friendly company you're involved with, whether you're working for them or you're going to be opening a franchise. You need veterans within the space that you're working, because what happens is these veterans go into these companies, they just don't understand veterans, and I think that's a problem.
And you also actively recruit at events like obviously MIC DC, Looking for Talent, Military Mojo, other agencies.
Yeah, we go through Victory Media, who owns GI Jobs. They're a big supporter of us. We volunteer to, for Veteran Shark Tank. I'm one of the judges on Veteran Shark Tank. We help proactively encourage business entrepreneurs to write their business plans, come in to these regional finals and pitch.
So lastly, you talked about the strengthening with your family, your spouse being a very integral part of the success as a team. You talked about the entrepreneurial spirit, but you're also a big giver back. You're participating in the West Point Society of Philadelphia. You have your own foundation. Can you talk a little bit about your foundation?
Our foundation is going to be taking on, veteran suicide. Also active duty suicide, we're learning that's becoming a problem. No one's talking about it. I'm surrounding myself with a lot of really strong people in this space, and celebrity chef Andre Rush, he's one who just joined the team. So we're going to put together the A-team and go after this and let people know what it's about, but do it tactfully, not too traditionally. I want to be able to really make a difference when we take some of these initiatives on.
Well, Jerry, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for participating in MIC DC and on a program here today, and wish you the best of luck with you and your franchise.
Thanks for having me.
Women are entering the military at record numbers. Correspondent Cherissa Jackson shares her conversation with Anu Lockhart, one of the participants at the Military Influencers Conference, on a variety of issues facing women veterans.
Thank you so much, Anu, for coming here today to talk to me. I love talking to women veterans. So today I want to hear from you and your story of being in the military. Tell me, what does it mean to be a veteran for you?
I think being a veteran means to me being courageous, resilient, strength.
Those are things I hear all the time from women veterans. It's all about how they served, and they think about what it means to be a veteran for their family members. And to be a woman veteran, we wear many hats, right? We're a mom, we go and put the uniform on every day, we deploy, but courageous is definitely one of the things I hear all the time. So I'm glad you said that. So tell me, why did you choose to come into the military? Like for me, it was about education. My parents had to take care of 6 kids. And I saw the struggle that they did trying to have all my siblings go through school. So I was the 5th of 6. So I saw all of that, and I didn't want to do that to my parents again. So I chose to come into the military because I wanted to have the military pay for school. So why did you decide to come into the military?
Well, I decided to come in because I wanted my life to mean something. I'm from a small town, and there isn't a lot of opportunity, and I just found myself not really having anything to do and not knowing what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to, like you said, kind of fall into the footsteps of, my parents or my grandparents. And I wanted to, have a purposeful life. And so that's why I joined.
And so how many years did you do?
I did 5 years.
You did 5 years. And what kind of work did you do?
I was an HR specialist.
HR specialist. And so yesterday's conversation, you did deploy, correct?
Yes, I did. I deployed to Afghanistan.
And so one of the things that came up in our conversation yesterday was about how women veterans don't identify themselves as women veterans, right? And so tell me about that. Have you always identified yourself as a woman veteran?
I actually haven't. No. I just always think, I did think, that I didn't do enough, or I didn't serve long enough, or, my job wasn't in combat, so I'm really not a veteran. That's pretty much the way that I've always felt so when I was in and when I got out.
So what was the change that happened? What happened to change your trajectory and saying, yes, I am a veteran? What happened?
Just being around women veterans and listening to their stories and hearing that their stories were like mine, and they were veterans and so was I, and just having that support from other female veterans, especially just them letting me know that I'm one of them.
Yeah. And support is so needed out here in the women veteran community, because a lot of women don't feel like they have a voice. A lot have been forgotten. A lot don't identify as being a female veteran. So it's important that we do share our story. So if you saw a veteran on the street or someone in a store and you noticed that she was a female veteran, what story would you share with her?
I would just share with her the story of me being a mom in the military, dual military family, and just how tough it was and how I got through it, and where I'm at today, and even all the obstacles that I faced, I've made it through, and I'm here, and I'm planning to be better today and next year and throughout my entire life.
And I think it's important for women veterans to know that, being in the military, I did 23.5 years and 14 days, that, it wasn't all sweet. It had some highs and some lows, and it's okay to have highs and lows in your career, but it's how you overcome, it's how you get over. And I think it's important when we share our stories that people hear that about how you got over. And when people share their stories, then you're not the only one. So how has that changed your life when these women started coming into your space, you start hearing their stories?
It has allowed me to open up, made me feel comfortable with opening up and, telling my stories and the not so good parts of it, and just, me allowing me to be vulnerable with other women, and that helps people, hearing the bad parts and how you overcame them. And it just lets people know, that they're not alone.
And so you've been out for a few years. You did 5 years, so you transitioned from military to civilian. And so what do you think are the characteristics that is separate or that identifies a woman veteran over a civilian? Are there different characteristics that you could say, man, I know she wasn't in the military, or I know she was in the military? What are some of the characteristics that you see the changes in the both groups between a civilian and a woman veteran?
Whenever I'm around women and they say, they're a veteran, it's just like a feeling that, you feel you have that connection. And I think as veterans, not just women, but veterans, we are able to be a part of a team. You have that teamwork, and you have, the idea to just put the mission first, and that's the priority. And so I love working with women veterans because, that's what we think about. We're a team. We put personal feelings aside and we focus on the mission and focus on helping whoever we're trying to help, or just getting the job done. So that's definitely what I kind of see the difference between civilians and women veterans.
So you decided to become an entrepreneur. So why did you decide to do that?
I didn't come from a family that knew a lot about real estate, and no one had ever really bought a home. And so I, of course, PCSing and seeing, how sometimes soldiers are taken advantage of, and we have to have somewhere to stay. I wanted to be there to give soldiers that resource and that guidance. Now that I've started to connect with veterans, it's just brought, my drive and my passion, made it stronger, because, I see these women and entrepreneurship and how they want to help the community, and it makes me, want to do it even more now. So in the beginning, I would say it wasn't the reason I started, but it's definitely the reason why I keep going.
Awesome. So if you were to see a woman veteran on the street or in this conference, what tidbits or little golden nuggets would you tell her for her to live her best life or be successful? What would be some of the things you would tell her to do?
I would tell her to, not be afraid to share her story, to open up, not be afraid to ask for help. I think sometimes being in the military, we kind of get to where we have to be strong, right? And we can't be vulnerable, and so we kind of carry that with us to the civilian world. And it's good to open up, and it's good to be vulnerable and to ask for help. So that's what I would tell her.
Okay, last question. This is a fill in the blank type of question. I am a female veteran, and complete the statement.
I am a female veteran, and I'm a mom, an entrepreneur, and I'm always going to be a soldier.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Carol Thompson, and I'm a partner at the Federal Practice Group. I had both the privilege and honor to serve as a judge advocate in the Marine Corps and the Marine Corps Reserve. When I left active duty in 2013, I sought ways to continue assisting and working with veterans on a daily basis. And that's what led me to the Federal Practice Group. Now, I do both military criminal and appellate defense, and I assist veterans who are seeking to correct their military records. I'm grateful I have the opportunity to continue working with veterans, and I want to send a special thank you to those who have served and continue to serve.
Do you like popcorn? We all do. In this next story, JC, an Army veteran, has transitioned from the military to a business making gourmet popcorn.
My name is JC Clark. I am a retired military Air Force veteran. I retired in 1999 after 20 years in the military Air Force. Spent most of my time in Maryland. Started out in Fort Worth, Texas, then ended up in Alaska at in the Fairbanks area, and then back at Fort Meade at the National Security Agency, where I spent most of my time in the intelligence field. And then I finally decided to retire and work for the phone company, the local phone company here. And then after a couple of years, 17 in fact, I was doing part-time work popping kettle corn. I helped out my brother-in-law who was doing this. So as the season was over, I stepped away from it. Happened to be riding by a farmer's market in southern Maryland, went by to ask him, hey, does anybody sell popcorn here? They said years ago. I said, well, how much does it cost? Well, paid the fee of $40, came back about 3 weeks later, and to my surprise, just selling regular kettle corn. The history is now, I do this full time as my lifestyle and love doing it. We offer 10 local market flavors from if you notice, my name is called Capital Kettle Corn, so I've exploited the name. Flavors such as Presidential, which is the kettle corn, White House, which is the sea salt. I offer Flotus 44 brown sugar. I offer POTUS 44 chocolate spicy hot chocolate. We have an Embassy Spice. Also have a cheddar that I call Congressional Cheddar, and I want to call non-congressional. We do 3 local markets. Thursdays at the White House and in front of the VA headquarters, and then on Saturdays I'm in Silver Spring, Maryland, and on Fridays, of course, we're here at the USDA, which, looking at the weather today, is beautiful. It's the fall time of the year, so this is really our best time to be here. I buy a local corn from a farmer within the Chesapeake Bay watershed, but not as a farmer. I use the corn that's grown here in local, which offers me the affordability to be able to get into certain areas that most people wouldn't be able to. So it's been really nice to have a local grower provide me with enough corn to satisfy every need that I have. Some of my local customers include government workers, some of the government agencies. So it's really nice that they ask that question, are you local? Do you use the local corn? Which I do. What's going on, man? How you doing today? This is my life now. Hopefully my next step is into the wholesale retail business. So once that gets going, I've fulfilled at least one part of my dream of working for myself. After coming out of the military for 20 years, it's been really an eye-opener to step away from something that's been straight and narrow, which, hey, I enjoyed and loved, but now I'm on my own. As people would say, well, I don't know about people, but me, I can't wait on a paycheck now. I have to go out and make a living. The military was great. It gave me wonderful training, offered me a chance to travel, take care of my family, but with what they offered me, I had to learn very quickly how to expound on that experience to take me to the next level of taking care of myself. The military can take care of you, but it can't provide for you for your rest of your life, other than the benefits, which I enjoy, which all of us enjoy. I'm glad we have them, but to take care of my family, I had to find something that I had done before, which is learn how to take care of a situation and maximize my time with it and make it grow and make it successful.
I had the opportunity to sit down with an associate who participates in a new initiative called Vet Biz Ladies. The goal of the program is to help veteran women business owners procure more government contracts. Jackie, tell me about your company and what you do.
Premier Enterprise Solutions does IT services, program analysis, and supply chain management. So in IT services, we do cloud, cyber, telecommunications, software development. We do program analysis at the TSSCI level, and we do enterprise supply chain management.
Excellent. So how long have you been in business, Jackie?
7 years.
7 years. And what prompted you to go into that line of business?
IT is really my background.
Okay.
So that's how I started as an IT company, and it's a lifelong dream to be an entrepreneur.
Well, I'm very curious because also as a minority woman in the IT space, there's not many of us. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you got into that space?
You know, it's very interesting, but since I was a little girl, knowing that I had to go to college, for some reason, computer science just really piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. So I went to college. My bachelor's and master's are in information technology. I worked in information technology in the Air Force. I did software development. I did Air Force-wide simulation models. I was in charge of the TS network at the Air Force's Combat Operations Center in the Pentagon. Went there to FedSim, where I oversaw enterprise and government-wide information technology projects. So I've just always loved technology.
Well, I'm always grateful when I see other minority women in STEM fields. So I'm grateful to know you and to be part of your network.
Well, thank you. Same.
We're in the Veteran Women-Owned Small Business Initiative program together. So can you tell me what this program means to you?
First of all, I am just so grateful that anyone in VA is really paying attention to women-owned, veteran-owned small businesses. I have wanted to be more of a part of VA since I started, but there do seem to be some barriers. So the fact that someone is actually helping us to break down any barriers and to assist us in really getting into VA, learning the mission, learning how we can better support them, I'm just very excited about that. Not only that, but the camaraderie that comes from being in this program. I mean, our very first meeting was all cheerleading. That's the way I felt, right? But in a very professional, collegial way. And so I'm also learning a lot about other women businesses. And in the process, I'm really hoping to gain a lot of great partners.
What does success from this program look like to you?
Winning work. That's why we're here. We're here because we are fantastic suppliers for the VA, but they may or may not know about us yet. So all of us being able to win new work, work that we would not have known about before, for me, that's a win.
You mentioned us coming together as women and learning about each other. I kind of felt the same way, that camaraderie that we had when we were in the military. Are you feeling that as well?
Absolutely. This is a fantastic group of women. I am learning from them. I'm growing because of them. Even one of our exercises in our last session where we had to actually come up with, our own kind of tagline, so to speak, commercial, billboard. And I came up with some that were good, but when we got together as a group, they became great. So just being able to assist each other, pour into each other, I just think that's fantastic.
What's the best part of the program for you so far?
Is Ebony. Oh my gracious, she is amazing. The way that she actually helps you to tell your story. I've told my story many times, and I speak on panels and at conferences and different things. So I'm not shy about telling my story or speaking, but the way she helps you to organize your story and to think about it so crisply, cleanly, succinctly, and at the same time make it impactful, that's fantastic. If I leave now, I've honestly gotten a lot out of the program.
If there's a business leader who is on the fence for the next cohort of this program that says, I'm not so sure that I have the time to dedicate to this, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that if you want to grow, working on your business is every bit as important as working in your business. You have to dedicate a certain amount of time to working on your business. And that's what this program is about. It helps to take you away from the day-to-day and allows you to take a more objective look at your business. You get to look through other people's eyes. You get to look through the eyes of experts. Invaluable. You won't grow as quickly or as well without it.
In your business, how do you use that to give back?
A part of my being in business is really more than just to make money, fulfill a dream. It is all about giving back for me. Along the way, I'm actually building a model that makes it easier for both women and African Americans to get into business and to grow their businesses and grow it quickly. Because we're in technology, STEM is very important to me, so I do spend time on panels and working with nonprofits and conferences so that I can help get the word out. There needs to be more women and more minorities in STEM.
That's all for this edition of Veterans in Transition. We ask that you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And remember, we all have a story to tell. Until next time.